there's a good chance I'm going to go for that. So things that are related to denim, things that are going to help me elevate it. I mean, I'm not sure like what is the capacity in terms of what can be provided and what we provide for ourselves, but those are what that's what I've been trying to find by myself, and if that can be facilitated anyway, that would be helpful.
I can go next. Or were you gonna say something?
No, but it's nice to see you again.
I was just about to say, yeah, we met in New York. Hello. Well, I'm Prince. I'm a senior fashion design major. I had kind of joined late because I was having connection issues. But what did you want to hear from us? I think I missed that part.
Just your name, year that you're in, what you're thinking about doing for this presentation, and what your needs are. Even if that need is information, but what your needs are.
I really don't have any needs as of right now because I kind of got the ball rolling. I know I was working with I planned on using recycled and reworking blazers, so thrifting out blazers and suits and kind of upcycling it, creating my own garments using that as my material. And I had already got the material, so I'm kind of just moving along that way. But I guess knowing more about like, was there any hard deadlines for you that you wanted to give us for like?
Yeah, so I think Professor Fenton will have some hard deadlines for you guys and your presentations for sure. And so my goal is to kind of help you get from where you are to where you need to be in time, in a systematic way. And Prince, it sounds like you're pretty much kind of already,
recording in progress.
You're kind of already on the road. But if there are any other things that need to be represented in the presentation, whether it be even for your capstone, even for just the capstone project for the class, like I want to kind of get you guys from wherever you are to the end. So, but thanks for asking, Prince, and thanks for joining. Good to see you. Okay. Anyone else after Prince can unmute and kind of tell me once again your name, grade, project, needs.
Hello, I'm Tuki Tucker. I'm off camera right now because I am not presentation ready, but I am representing. And I'm representing North Carolina Central University here in Durham, North Carolina, and I am a graduating senior. I think my biggest need would be some sort of prompt or I guess a guideline when it comes to the presentation, what all you actually want answered in this presentation. From my understanding, I know we have to do both a written and video of some sort along with the actual show. I just don't know what all is supposed to go into the presentation specifically.
Got it. So formal brief would help you a lot with this, right, Tuki?
Absolutely.
Got it. Thank you for sharing that. And do you have an inspiration or idea around what you're thinking about producing, or do you need the brief before that? Or are you already kind of concepting like, I would love to see this at the kind of reimagining of the Battle of Versailles?
So right now is Andre Leon, as you know, an alum of North Carolina University, and just after his death, there's a lot of things that has been donated to the university that I would like to use. And I guess that kind of segues into my next question. When it comes to this being a sustainability competition, is there a percentage of how much of our collection should be sustainable? And then what are the definitive requisites of sustainability? Like when we say sustainable, are we looking at, I think someone mentioned denim earlier, are we looking at how we can reimagine or repurpose already used fabrics, already using unconventional materials? Like what are the parameters of sustainability?
Got it. Professor Fenton, you have that written down?
Yes, Yes, so and that's a really good point, Tookie. I think that one of the things that we wanted to establish from this initial meeting is just attempt like Michael, Coach Mike said, a needs assessment and a check-in, and kind of garnish where you all were, so that we can tailor. I can tailor the brief a little more closely to your actual capacity. I didn't want to set an expectation that was beyond what you had the capacity to complete. So but what you can expect as a follow up to this conversation is a formal brief that will be sent out to everyone. So so your points are well positioned, and I absolutely hear you on that. Mm-hmm. So please, everyone else, continue to ask these questions because it helps us. I'm sorry, it helps us. Big hair, don't care. It helps us with narrowing down what it is that you need.
Could I say something? If you were looking for, my name's Amel, I'm an alum for Howard, so I pitched this to Professor Fenton, and when I was at Howard, I did this 12 years ago with someone named Jin Naruku, who ended up, we did it for 10,000 kids for MTV twice, and what we used when we did it at Howard was we did a partnership with Goodwill, and we just cut up, and then students just cut up stuff from the Goodwill. But the guide that I would suggest for sustainability is I would actually look up the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, because they have 17 different sustainable development goals, and they also have guidelines to fashion, and they have a big push because a lot of people don't realize when people think of greenhouse emission gases, they think of plastics, but after plastics, it's fast fashion that negatively impacts our environment. So for instance, a lot of clothes that come from like H&M or your Zara will be burned somewhere in Africa. So it causes like huge pollutions, or they end up in the water systems. And so UN's SDG goals, there's numerous guidelines, so I can put something in the chat. And then also the UN guideline of how they want to move fashion forward, since fashion after plastics is the biggest greenhouse gas emissions.
Thank you so much for that. Someone had their hand up. I think it's Kaylin or Kaylin.
Hi, yes. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kaylin Coleman. I'm a senior fashion design major at Howard University from Indianapolis, Indiana. My question was, I remember Professor Fenton mentioning like documenting the process as best as we can. So obviously, we would need to be using our phones. Is there specifications on the layout and how you all want the like possible videos to be like formatted? Do you want it like sideways, vertical, since it is iPhone, and then like obviously how long? Just basically specifications about the documentation and if it's going into a video or not for the actual presentation.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing you saying, Kaylin, is you need a brief that speaks about the video, specifically the video presentation. So this way you know how to shoot it. I'm sure it's going to be a couple of different formats, but I'll definitely make sure that we help you along with that route. Professor Fenton, I'm sure she has an idea around what she wants specifically, and we'll make sure you get that. Does that help? And then later.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yes, we absolutely will be following up and including in the brief the specifications around recording and documenting. So not just the video documentation, but also the written presentation as well. So that will also be included. But great question. Thank you.
Hello. You guys hear me? No?
Yeah, we hear you, Darian. Just speak up a little bit if you can.
Okay, do you hear me better now?
Much better.
I can't hear. Oh my gosh.
Anything?
Okay.
We can hear you, Darian. Please go ahead.
Okay, I'm Darian Clyburn. I'm a senior fashion design major at Howard. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I've also gotten my process started. I've kind of gotten all my bad ideas out of the way now. So I'm at a point where I'm just kind of like been drafting a few different designs. The only issue, I don't really need anything. The only issue I've been running into is just how to make my garments sustainable and how to kind of stay within that concept. I didn't realize how hard it was to like create a sustainable garment until like I actually started trying and doing my research. So that's been the only thing that's been in the way for me personally.
Awesome, thank you. And as you're going through this process, my follow-up question for you is, are there materials that you are thinking about that seem inaccessible to you at the current moment in time?
Yes, but they aren't sustainable. Like after doing my research and just watching some old shows and things, like I would love to just incorporate like embellished fabrics and like sequin embroidered and just diamond embellished, but those are unsustainable fabrics and are also just really, really expensive, but they're just super on theme and super just like coordinating with like the battle of Versailles and just the time of the Baroque period. But yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that, and I'll take note of that for sure. As far as some of the things that you want to do, they might be a little bit more sustainable than you think, right? There are estate sales, there's ways to kind of look at some of the materials, but as you get deeper into your project plan, we can figure out how you might be able to source one or two or three of those things.
And then I can also suggest going to the Goodwill or any Salvation Army and seeing if there are materials like glitter materials or diamond materials, because if it's technically used from another fabric, then that is considered sustainable.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Or even I've seen a fashion designer, she's used curtains to make interesting clothing. And so I can actually ask her to do a presentation, but she uses recycled fashion and curtains and stuff like that, and she's pretty big in Atlanta. But yeah, just going to the Salvation Army, and then I can see if I can contact the Goodwill or Salvation Army to see if they can donate clothing to this so that you guys can repurpose it, depending on as another resource.
I'm sorry. And I have another question. So, being a student and dealing with presentations, there's always some form of a rubric. So, for something like this, would there happen to be a rubric that we can kind of check off as we're doing things? So this being a competition, could we just kind of check off to say, hey, we've done this, hey, we've done this? Or because it is a competition, or the judges is just kind of seeing what do we come up with on our own?
Yeah, and so part of the process that I've been going through in terms of framing how students and how you're entering in terms of your sustainability is leaving enough room for you to have some sovereignty as to how you weave in and out of that, and how you define sustainability and how you utilize that and implement it in your design. So that this conversation is really good, just fleshing out your experiences so far, your opinions, your needs, and that way, as I'm framing the brief, I'm going to leave it with enough space for you to have a determination as to whether or not you choose one path or another. And there's a couple more people that are here on my line that need to introduce themselves. One of them is going to stay off camera because that's his choice today, and then Dr. Stevens. So,
hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elka Stevens. I'm coordinator of the fashion design program here at Howard University. I haven't met many of you, but thank you so very much for engaging us and our students in this opportunity. We're so excited. Our students are excited. And if you need me, I am here to support in whatever way I possibly can. I know that you're in more than capable hands with Professor Fenton. And I'm going to stop speaking now so you can hear from our students. Nice to meet everyone.
Thank you, Dr.
And just to piggyback on what Professor Fenton said, you can look at, so the UN has put together numerous guidelines on how to implement sustainability forward, and there's 17 different guidelines. And so I can make sure I provide that for Professor Fenton, just in case you have neat creative ideas of how to implement sustainability. And the UN's goals are pretty broad. And I can send you guys some more websites. I did add some websites on the chat, but I can send some more guidelines, or not guidelines, more videos for inspiration.
So we have Tracy, Danielle, and Layla. I believe that's the. I remember. So just to recap, we're saying our name, what year we're in, what school, what our needs are, and if we have a kind of a concept or idea around what we're thinking for the presentation.
Okay, so my name is John Miller. I am a senior fashion design major from New Jersey. I go to Howard University. Happy to be here and doing all this, but I don't think I have any like needs I need met or anything right now. I'm just making my way through, you know what I mean, figuring stuff out as I go. I have a concept that I'm playing with. I should do you guys want to hear about it, talk about it, or just want to hear that I have one? Okay, so okay, well, it's a mostly denim look, with a nod to Baroque. So I'm using some fabrics. I'm playing with distressing it and some also some darts and some manipulation of the fabric and things like that. So, but yeah, and that's really all.
Amazing. So now we have 3 more people to go. Tracy and.
Oh. Sorry, is it okay to speak?
Yeah, please.
Hi, sorry, my camera's off. I just got out of another class. My name is Danielle. I am a senior fashion design major. I guess if there was anything that I needed, it would probably be a tool, or some like a boning for the corseted part of my dress. I am doing kind of a ball gown type of dress, and it's corseted at the top, and it has like a kimono type piece. I had thrifted a couple yards of silk charmeuse, so I'm doing a black silk charmeuse dress. I don't have too many questions, but I think Professor Fenton has done a really good job of answering all of my needs. But yeah, I guess more materials or beading for underneath the dress to puff it out for the skirt to give the look that I want, and boning for the corset. But that's really all.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, we have 2 more, Layla and Tracy.
Hi, my name is Layla. My name is Layla Yerish. I'm a senior fashion design student from PG County. For my look, I'm going for a really Baroque, mixed with post-colonial elements, Caribbean and African elements. I don't really have any needs right now. I have all my fabric. I'm just in the process of making my balls in muslin, sorry. But yeah, I'm doing a dress and a cape.
Thank you for sharing that. And Tracy, last but not least.
Hi everyone, my name is Tracy Pennison, a senior fashion design major from Philadelphia. I'm in the process of creating my patterns out of muslin for my corset piece and my skirt piece. I'm doing a really whimsical camp Baroque take on Baroque, so I'm excited to do that. And I don't really have any needs right now. I have all of my materials, I just have to construct it.
Awesome, thank you, Tracy. So thank you all for sharing. There are a few things that I've heard that I think are important, especially when we're executing such a big project, right? Because it's not just the creative part, there's also the academic side of it. What I will do is connect with Professor Fenton and Amal, and we'll kind of talk about how to get you guys from where you are to where you need to be by presentation day or before presentation day. Tuki, I do want to note that you said that you would like a rubric because it would help you. And I think, with everyone being a differentiated learner, I think those things are important. So thank you for expressing that and really saying, like, this is something that would help me. As far as the brief goes, like I said, we'll connect and figure out what that is and get that to you as soon as possible. My role and my job is to help you get from brief to completion. Layla, you said you need the rubric as well. No problem. We will be on an email all together after this session, and you can email me anytime with any questions, any needs, any ideas that you might want to run through. Design thinking, systems thinking, and project management is something that can seem super complex, but it's very, very basic. I want to try to keep these sessions to about 30 minutes each time we meet. So this way we're very succinct, we're knocking things out, and we're moving on to where we need to go. If that sounds good, you can hit your thumbs up button or give me a thumbs up. I don't want to try to, kill too much of your time. So,
sorry, Coach Mike. The only thing that I would add is throughout this process, there are other specialists and professionals that are going to be aiding in the process. For example, a showrunner and makeup artist and that sort of thing that will help lend to your experience a smooth transition. So having them on may add to the time. That's why I've allocated an hour. But like Coach Mike was saying, we're going to try to keep it to a half an hour. But if we have additional speakers, then that will extend the time.
Sure. So for this, we'll have a follow-up of an email. We'll all be on email and you have Coach Mike. Coach Mike is your coach. He's here to help you get to where you need to be, all right? I don't want anyone to feel anxious or fearful in any type of way. Prince has met me, so he kind of knows a little bit of my disposition and kind of like how I am. But all of you will do great. You will all be excellent. You're already great. I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for you to present your work. And I'm excited for you to be a part of such a momentous event. All right?
Mr. Mike, before we let go, I do have a question.
Sure.
Firstly, do we know when the next meeting is going to be?
Yes. It is, Professor Vinton, I think it's next Tuesday. I think we're going to meet every Tuesday.
Okay, so that gives us 3 more Tuesdays before.
No, it's Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. Got it.
Okay. My second question is, when it comes to marketing and advertising, is there any flyers of the sort?
Sorry. We're working on that today. I was just right now getting confirmed speakers. So right now we, the director of the White House director of HBCU initiatives, they're interested in coming and speaking. So we're just trying to get our speakers confirmed, but we have enough speakers now confirmed to create a website, social media, and I know I'm going to need help with you, Ms. Coleman, to really make sure it's a packed house with 300 people, because you guys deserve it. And I just emailed the owner of Essence Magazine and Afropunk and Vice. So I'm really my goal is to get as much publicity for you guys. So when you guys do your career, it's just a leap path to infinity and beyond for you guys. So, yeah.
Okay. And I was only asking because it feels like I'm the only one that's not from Howard. There's a lot of people that's trying to support and willing to support, but I don't have anything to back me up to say, hey, this is a legitimate thing that I'm partaking in. So I just, it'll help.
You will have something, you guys will have something after I send it to Professor Fenton and Michael. Professor Fenton and I are working with the School of Communications, and we'll do an Instagram, and I'm going to work with Kaylin to do like an Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of that. But I was just trying to get all the speakers, 75% of the speakers confirmed, with the confirmed yes, and then permission to use their name, like the person who's the director of the White House HBCU initiative.
Thank you.
All right, and we want some of how do we, Mr. Tucker, or how do we support you more, because you are representing your school? what can we do to step up communications? Can we like reach out to the alumni chapter for your school? Like how do we support you to make sure that you feel embraced and celebrated, even though a lot of people are from Howard or Bowie?
I mean, I mean, the emails, the text messages. Professor Fenton has my number. I guess anytime she's sharing anything with her class, just kind of give Tuki a call because, like I said, I'm not there, I'm not in the class. So it feels almost like a class project type of thing where, for me, I actually have a curriculum working towards graduation and trying to implement this, where their students may, alter the curriculum for this. I don't have that luxury. So just to kind of know what's going on so I can be working towards that as well.
Noted. And please note, Tuki, that you aren't the only non-Howard student. So there are other students that are participating. They're just not on this call today. So, but I understand how it feels and your experience of it. So thank you for giving your feedback. And absolutely, while I am sharing and discussing with my students, I'm not giving them any information that I haven't given students that aren't attending Howard. And I teach at both Howard and Bowie State. So I'm not I'm duplicitous in that as well. So just to give you some comfort.
And our biggest vision is to, when Professor Vince and I were talking, our biggest vision is to make it equitable with all HBCU schools. So as we continue this each year, we want to make sure we get more HBCUs involved, but not only more HBCUs involved, equal amount of participants. But this is just a pilot program, and so we appreciate your patience of us trying to figure it out as we continue to go forward. Even though there's a lot of things that we don't know, we're just trying to set the precedent so that this is something that the French Embassy wants every year. And you are the first for your university, and you come from great stock. Like Andre Leon Talley came from your university, and so you are representing, and we're honored for you to do that in spite of not having other students there, but you got this. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Awesome. So it was great to meet you all. I look forward to working with you all. I will see you on Thursday.
And you can expect your brief and a rubric by this evening, because I do have another class to teach after this. And I will really, I'm open to hearing, getting your feedback. If you have any questions, my email and my text and my cell phone are in my signature. So you can text as well as send me an email. I'm happy to communicate and make sure that you're clear and that you're up on all the information. But please, congratulations on making the decision to be a part of this inaugural event. And I'm so looking forward to seeing what you all come up with. This is going to be an incredible experience.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again.
So we're going to close out now unless you have anything to say.
No, I'll put my cell phone in the chat, so if anybody wants to call me, but I would call Professor Fenton first, since she is the official HBC. I mean, she is the professor who's spearheading, executive producing it. But I'll give everybody my cell phone number, and you guys can call me. But I would say talk to Professor Fenton first, because that's what I'll probably say. But yeah.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Perfect. All right. So I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you again.
Okay, was that helpful for you all?
That was good.